Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. Here we have on the bench a 1983 Apple IIe computer. The IIe came out in 1983. This is a pretty early one. This one was based on the chips and other parts. It's manufactured in the spring of 1983. Came with the mouse and a mouse controller card. I believe these are from 1984. At least the controller card is from 1984. I think a lot of these were used until the late 80s and then the person got an upgrade or whatever. But it's got kind of a weird issue. I bought this and it worked totally fine. The safety capacitor went out, but that's pretty common, so I replaced that. And then it worked fine, and then all of a sudden, it developed a very strange issue. It's a lot clearer in person than it is on camera. Camera kind of makes it look all blurry, but anyways, you go to type. I'm going to type in load, and the wrong characters come up on screen. However, they are actual characters. I don't think it's a problem with the ROM. I think it's a problem with the controller, and I mapped it out. I wonder if I can find it. If I can find the mapping that I did, then I'll put it on screen. But I mapped out what keys were bad and what they showed up as. It just did not make sense for a mechanical error, like a row is bad or shows up wrong, or a column, or whatever way those two go, is bad. It didn't show up like that. It was just completely random. So I think what's bad is the AY-5-3600 Pro keyboard controller. This is the one that I bought to replace it. Weirdly enough, it's actually older than the one that's in there currently. As you can see, this one was built the 40th week in 1981 by General Instruments. And we're going to break in this old computer and replace it. Now this is very different from any Apple product that you may know, unless you're familiar with the Apple II. Because how you take the Apple II apart, unlike all modern Apple products, there's no screws required, no weird tools or whatever. Just pull, release. And that gives you access to the entire computer. So we're going to be putting it in place of that KR3600 Pro down there. It's built the 15th week of 1983. And I think that's our problem. Our other possible problem is the keyboard ROM, which is an AMI 342-0132-B, which was manufactured the 17th week of 1983. Yeah, I think this one's our problem up here, because if this one was bad, it'd be total gibberish. Like, not even actual characters, just things on the screen. And it wouldn't say, like, Apple II up at the top or whatever. You can see our circuit board has a date stamp of 24th week of 1983. Here's our mouse interface. All right, let's see if it goes up in flames. That worked. I'm going to turn it off because there's nothing connected to the cassette interface. But that's awesome. We got a working 1983 Apple IIe now. Now, the question is, how do you actually load programs on this today? Now, I don't have the cassette interface required for this. I have lots of tape decks that I'm sure could be used just fine. I don't have floppy drives for it. However, I have this program right here, which is the Apple Games Server online. 254 games. And what you do is you just, click on one, and then you play the audio file. You hit load on the Apple II, then you hit enter, load in all caps, obviously. Hit enter, because it's going to be waiting for the cassette drive to start playing a program. And then you hit play on this, and then the computer loads that program. Okay, so when you get to this stage, let's say, I want to play Flight Simulator for the Apple II. So you click on Flight Simulator, and then you want to go bracket hi-fi for the audio file. Because I'm using the bracket up here, it's not the star, because there's also star hi-fi, bracket lo-fi, star lo-fi. And I want hi-fi because I don't have a crappy internet connection or whatever. I have the output of this laptop, which, keeping with the retro theme, this is a Pentium laptop. I have the output of this laptop going into the tape input of the Apple II. And then with caps lock on or with shift, you do all caps, load, and then enter. Computer's waiting for tape. You play our cassette tape, just the file. As you can hear, the computer recognizes it. Around 10 seconds in, it'll give an estimate. Yep, ETA 10 seconds. And then once that file is done, we should be playing some Flight Simulator. Inflating. And here we are. We're playing Flight Simulator from 1983 or thereabout. Granted, I don't know how to play this game. But I'm just happy that our little fix worked, because this thing has been sitting on the storage shelf for probably 2 or 3 months now. And I'm glad that it has been saved with a literal $5 chip from eBay. It's time for some Galaxian. This is a classic. I used to be really good at this game. It's kind of like Space Invaders if you don't know what it is. Classic arcade game from the early 80s. Maybe even late 70s. It's either Galaxian or Galaga. That's from like 79. I got 64K of RAM. I can play it in full sound. Not a problem for me. This was a high-end system in its day. A good game if you want to break your space bar. Not something I'm trying to do, but I'm so happy I got this system working, because it was totally dead before with that weird problem. Absolutely unusable. Is that game over? Yep, it's game over. All right, well, I thank you for tuning into this episode. I know it's kind of a short one, but I'm very glad I have this system working. I think it'll make a great addition to the little vintage computer collection that I am amassing, for better or for worse. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.